And we're back to Nancy's Neighborhood, and it's good to be back with you all, and especially after all this turmoil we had last night and today. And I'm really glad that Gerald Hodge could be with us because he's at the L&N Depot in Etowah, and I just called and left a message because I wasn't really sure what your all's situation was. I knew the bad situation a little bit further down 411.
We did not get to come in today. I live in Athens, and the tornado hit about a half mile from where I live at. So,
my goodness.
The 30 was shut down for a chunk of the day today.
That was so funny because I grew up in Athens, and I saw the Channel 9 News was there, and they were talking about on the corner of Elizabeth Street and 30th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, no, we don't have a 30th Street in
Exactly.
Athens. It's Highway 30.
That's
But
right.
they showed a picture, and I knew. Anyway, Gerald is with Tennessee Overhill, which is a wonderful organization. And I wanted to briefly tell you a little bit about that, but then I want him to tell you about the Santa train excursion that's coming up, and folks, it's selling out fast. So that's the reason I wanted him on today, so he could tell you all about it, and we'll show this tomorrow, and hopefully you can call and make your reservations. So share with us, Gerald.
Well, the Tennessee Overhill is a nonprofit that promotes cultural tourism in Polk, Monroe, and McMinn counties. We do a lot of different things to promote cultural tourism, but one of our main projects is the Hiwassee River Rail Adventure. We're in partnership with the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, and what we do is we have typically we have two excursions. We've got the Copper Hill Special, and then we have the Hiwassee Loop trips. This year, however, we have the Santa's Hiwassee Holiday Train. It's for 4 weekends this year. Each 4 Saturdays this year has 3 trips on each of those Saturdays at 12 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock. Our first trip was this last weekend, and it was sold out. We sold out all the trains. The 10th of December is sold out. We only have about 250 total tickets left, and we have this Saturday, the 3rd,
Okay.
12, 2, and 4, and then our final one is going to be December 17th, 12, 2, and 4.
Okay, so you still have tickets for 12, 2, and 4
Yes,
for
ma'am.
this Saturday and the
And the
17th.
17th, yes,
but
ma'am.
everybody just mark the 10th off your calendar.
10th
it's
off
gone.
the calendar. It's sold out.
Now, I think this is exciting because I was telling Gerald, I was raised, my granddaddy worked for the L&N Railroad for 50 years, so I was raised at the L&N Depot and in Etowah and riding the train everywhere. So to me, this is so much fun, and people don't get to ride the train anymore.
No, trains are a special event for a lot of folks nowadays, unless you live somewhere like the East Coast corridor, D.C., New York, or over the West Coast. There's some commuter trains, and there's some passenger trains, excursion trains on the West Coast that folks can take. But if you get to do, especially an overnight trip, they can be quite special.
Yes, I think so, because I've done that before too. And the sleepers, and they had the dining cars and all of that, and I just hate that most of y'all missed all that. But okay, so tell us what we're going to do on this excursion.
Well, this last week when I got to see the first load of folks get on the train, it was parents, grandparents, and children. And that first train, I swear, I think it was the parents and grandparents outnumbered the kids. So it was, but you go in there, Santa will make an appearance. He goes to each of the cars to visit the children. There's Christmas carols that are sung. A story will be read, and the children will be able to get sugary snacks and drinks and stuff like that. And they'll have a keepsake that they'll have be able to have. So, and some of the children, believe it or not, and which kind of choked us all up, but some of the children brought letters to Santa.
Oh, how wonderful!
So there was about a dozen of them that brought letters to Santa.
They wanted to be sure they personally got there. Yeah,
That's right. And one of them was addressed to Santa Claus at the North Pole, Alaska.
Oh, good. Well, we always wondered exactly where the North Pole was, so now we know.
It was very special. I'll tell you what. When you see those young little bright eyes come in, it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely, and I'm quite sure that the parents and grandparents are riding because they want to ride the train again.
Yeah,
and some of the parents have probably never ridden a train.
I think so too. The excursion is, the excursion is 75 minutes long.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, it's 75 minutes long from start to finish. So that way we try to tailor it to where the kids will have enough time with Santa, but also it won't be too long to where
Right.
they're
Attention span,
short
yes.
attention span and all that. So that's the reason we tailored the trip that way. And the kids, we didn't have any problems with kids getting anxious or anything like that.
Good.
So that went well. I think next year I already know that we're planning another weekend.
Adding
Besides
on.
4, I think we're gonna have 5
Okay.
this next year. So we're already trying to work the schedule this far out.
Now, you said he goes from car to car. How many cars are in your train?
They are for passengers for this excursion will be 4 cars. It'll hold we can surge it a little bit past 150, but we plan on 150 passengers.
Okay.
For the excursion.
So each trip you have roughly 150 passengers.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why it's important, folks, that you all call and get your space reserved. So let me just ask, is this a steam engine or?
No, it is
Okay.
not. It is a diesel engine. I get asked a lot. I get two big questions when we talk about the excursion. One is, why don't you board at the L&N Depot in Etowah?
I was getting to that one.
I don't. That's probably the most common question I get asked. We don't own the line. That line,
Oh.
CSX owns that line.
Yes, they do.
Our line starts at Wetmore and splits off. If I had to board folks, other than the ginormous pain of scheduling with CSX, which is almost impossible, it would cost me $50,000 a month in insurance. So unless I got a sugar daddy or sugar mama give
There
me
you go.
$50,000 a month for the insurance, I can't do that. And now getting back to the steam engine. To be able to have a steam engine, you have to have the infrastructure of water tanks and also coal. And the steam engine throws off a lot of sparks. Now, knowing that most of all of our excursion goes through the national forest and the recent fires and stuff, we can't do that.
No.
I would love to. I love steam engines. I love to hear that chug,
Oh, I
chug,
know.
chug.
It's awesome. It really
but,
is.
But we can't do that. That's the reason why we have diesel engines.
And I understand that. And when you said the water towers, the water tanks,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in college, I would ride the train sometimes to a friend's home in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and the mailbag, they would hang the mailbag out on the water tank,
Yep.
and as the conductor went by, he'd just grab the mailbag,
Yep,
and
you
you
got
hoped
it.
he made the grab.
Yep.
Because if he didn't, you weren't going to get that letter to Santa.
That's right.
So there you go. Okay, so we're not going to load at the L&N Depot, but I know what we're going to do. But why don't you explain to them what they're supposed to do?
Okay, the way it works, once they purchase their tickets, they won't park, and they won't, for this excursion, unlike our other 2 excursions, they will park down at the intersection of Highway 411 and Delano Road. That's right there beside the Savannah Oaks Winery.
Right.
So they'll park there. It's a rough-looking parking lot that people park in. It's less than a 5-minute shuttle bus ride to the boarding area. Then they get off the bus and board the train.
Right, and so you don't have to walk, folks. They're going to shuttle you.
No, yeah.
But they need to be there on time because the train doesn't wait.
That's right. They need to be there 30 minutes before their scheduled time. So if they're going to ride the 12 o'clock, they need to be there 30 minutes prior. That way, because we have 2 shuttle buses, they may have to make, one will make an additional trip.
Right. Because roughly 150 people. So
That's correct.
Yes, I've got you. Okay. So, and the cost for this is?
$22 for an adult, $22 for children 2 and above. Of course, 1-year-olds are in arms, and that's
They're not taking up a seat.
They're not taking up a seat.
That's good.
Yes.
That's very good. That's kind of you to do that. And we hope that they will not be the crying, screaming ones that, because.
I saw a couple in the arms, and they were just, it's been a while since I've had a little one, and it was very nice to see the young families out enjoying. The weather was terrific this last Saturday.
Yes.
And they're out as a family and making memories, making experience.
I think that's wonderful. I wish I could pick up somebody's kid and go do this because I would be embarrassed to go do it myself. But I
Well, you know what?
Were there some?
We've seen that. We've had onesies and twosies of folks buying tickets for themselves and going. And like you were saying earlier, one I think they just wanted to ride the train.
Yes.
And it was just an additional additional thing to have, a Christmas
Right.
event. So it was, we saw a couple of older ladies that I think wanted to get their children fixed and didn't have plenty of their own.
Okay, just
So
go enjoy somebody else's
yeah,
kids.
just sit
You
there.
can do it for
sit there.
75 minutes. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All
and then
right.
go.
Tell people how they get their ticket.
They could go to Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum to
Is
their
that
website.
Okay, is that .org?
They can Google Tennessee Valley Railroad
Okay,
Museum.
all right, gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's a. Don't. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
don't
That's
get me-
fine. Just Google. Yeah.
And then the phone number, they can call the depot at 423-263-7840, and they'll talk to Becky, and she'll be able to fix them up, with a ticket, and tell them, if they come in and they could pick it up. I think we're too late to be mailing any tickets out.
Yes, I
though.
would think so.
So Becky will be
Right.
able to help them out on, and when they show up at the boarding area. They have their ticket. They're on a list, and they'll get a boarding pass to keep. So
I remember those too.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, and you have to show that to the conductor as he comes
that's
down
right.
the aisle.
Well,
So-
they'll get it punched by the conductor as they get on the train.
Oh, how neat.
Yep.
Just like in real life.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful. Gerald, thank you so much for coming to Cleveland
Well,
today and
thank
talking
you
to us
for
about
having
this.
me.
I've been announcing this for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I've told everybody, you need to call and get your reservations. So now Gerald is telling you, you've got to call and get your reservations.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, the 3rd, there are still some seats available. Nothing on the 10th and the 17th.
Now,
There's
if
some-
if they don't get a ticket beforehand, and if they walk up, they can pay cash or check. The boarding area, we don't have credit card
Right.
access because there's not a cell phone signal in that area,
Okay.
not a consistent
Oh,
one.
no, I know.
So cash or check, $22 per head,
Okay.
and then they can.
But they need to make a reservation.
They really need
They
to make a
can't
reservation.
show up and say, I'm
Yeah,
going to ride.
That's correct.
Okay,
And
all right.
we can surge just a very small number, but if everybody did that, we have to turn people back, and having a child there, that would be ugly. I
That
wouldn't
would
want-
be. That's not
yeah,
good. That's not good.
That would
No.
break all the hearts.
Absolutely, not included. Okay, Gerald, thank you so much for being on with me today,
Thank you
and it
very
was
much
nice
for having
meeting
me.
you. And
Nice to meet you.
I love Tennessee Overhill. Y'all do a great job of promoting and all of the 411 corridor there.
Yes.
And I think y'all do a wonderful job. You got a lot of great things going on. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
on.
much for having
And
me.
folks, don't go away. We're going to have to take a little commercial break to pay for this, and then we'll be right back. So be sure you watch our commercials.